Hey there, welcome to this quick and easy guide on setting up a simple project plan in Monday.com. Today, we're going to dive into this super useful and intuitive platform to get you up and running quickly. First things first, let's log into our Monday.com account. If you don't have one yet, no worries. You can sign up for a free trial to get started. All right, once we're logged in, we land on the dashboard. It's a clean, organized space where you can manage all your projects. But today we're going to create a brand new project plan from scratch. The first thing I'm going to do is create a new workspace. When you sign up to Monday.com for the first time, there will already be a workspace set up for you, but I want to start right at the beginning. I'm going to call this workspace demo workspace. It's very original. So once the workspace is set up, we'll now be able to add boards. You can choose from a large number of templates, but for today, we'll be using the out-the-box version. Click on the plus icon in the blue square on the left and choose New Project. We'll call this project Monday.com videos. So Monday.com will add a board for you with a few things already configured, which is great. All we need to do is configure a few things and we're done. So on the left are different tasks we need to do, grouped by various stages. We have planning, execution, and launch, but we're just going to be using planning for now. We then have owner, which shows which team member has been allocated to the task. Monday does allow multiple users to be added to a single task, but for now, we're just going to stick with one. We then have a whole bunch of other columns, which we'll explore in a few moments' time. For the purposes of this, I'm going to remove everything and start from scratch. Okay, so since this is about recording a video, let's add some tasks. Nice little shortcut here, Shift-Enter, lets you add multiple at a time. Let's assign all tasks to me. So as I indicated previously, you can complete both actions by selecting multiple items and completing the task. So how I do that is you either select this particular tasks that you want, but if you want to select all tasks for a particular group, it's on the left at the top. And then if I had to change the owner, I just go like that. I can then go ahead and add more if there were more people in my team. All right, let's look at the status column. So the status column, again, is by default and one of the most widely used column types with Monday.com. What's great about it is it's basically like a tick box or a radio button. And here we've got default statuses of done, working on it, stuck, future steps, and on hold. The color and text of any of these can be altered easily, and you can add as many statuses as you like. You can change the text and change the color or add new labels. You can also delete labels as long as they're not being used elsewhere on the board. If you have a task which has a particular status assigned to it, you cannot delete that status from this list. Another really useful feature of statuses is that you can select one of your statuses as the complete or done status, which will be used by the platform in other use cases, such as overall project completion. The way you do that, over here, settings, and customer status column. And here you can see that the green, which corresponds to done, is allocated as the completed. You can deselect that and none of the statuses would be marked as done, but I'm going to choose green for now. We can also use the status column for other uses. For example, in this case over here, it's used for priority. As you can see, the colors are very different. And if I go over here, I'm going to go customize status column. You can see none of them are actually marked as done because that doesn't actually apply to priority. Great. Let's move on to timeline. Another really awesome feature of the system is the timeline feature. So here you can add timelines for each task and use the timelines as deadlines. In this template, it's already set up, but I'm going to reset it and show you how to set this up yourself. Okay, so what you would do is essentially you'd have to go and add a new column and you'd choose timeline from the column list. I'm not going to do that, it's already there. But what I am going to show you is how to customize it. So if you go to settings and you go set as deadline, you then have to choose which status column marks the task as done. And in this case, we can choose status or priority. And I'm going to choose status. And then we can optionally choose a person column. In this case, owner. Now, what that does is it allows the system to determine whether a deadline is met or not by choosing the status column, as well as obviously the date. And it also allows us to send various notifications to the owner of that column or to the person based on certain events, such as a deadline approaching, task is not done. And we can have a look at that a bit later. Let's set some times for this. So record the video. Let's do it a couple of days. Edit the video. It'll be the 23rd to the 25th. Export can do on the 25th. And then boost media we'll do from the 26th to the 28th. That's great. In project planning, we can also add dependencies. So the first one over here, I'm not going to add a dependency, but over here, I'm going to say that edit video is dependent on recording the video. And we can choose the dependency type as well. It can be finish to start, start to start, finish to finish, or start to finish. Let's do that quickly. Edit video. I'm going to do all of these as finish to start. And we're going to do that like that. We can also configure the dependency mode. If you go to settings and we go to customize dependency column, we can choose either flexible, strict, or no action. So now this is set up. What is really great about this is that we can go to the Gantt chart and we'll see that all of our items have now been added as Gantt entries. We've got the items down here on the left with their date range, and we can see the dependencies as well. We can do a whole bunch of things over here. We can also adjust the dates and the timelines from our Gantt chart. So now I moved record video through to the 27th. If I go back to the main table, we'll see now that it's changed from the 25th to the 27th. Monday also allows us to add subtasks. So let's add some quick. You do that by expanding an item, which will allow us to then add sub-items. So let's say we're going to mistakes, import media assets. We're going to add assets here. Subtasks do not have the same columns as the main task and need to be independently configured. So we've got a status column already added for us. And we can also add, for example, we could add our timeline and deadlines here. We can add a timeline, we can add a dependency. However, it's important to note that this won't actually show in your Gantt chart once you've done that. Here, it gives the default Monday statuses, not the template statuses that we saw earlier. You can just say, working on it for all of these. But likewise, we can also customize status and we can say that green is done. Okay, and finally, I'd like to show you how to add an automation. So there are many templates or recipes, as they like to say, in Monday.com. But we are going to go through adding one from scratch. Here's the basic methodology. It has an event and then an action. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to say when status changes to something, and then it's going to ask you, okay, which status and changes to what? So let's go when status, which is our status column, changes to done, then I can do a few things. The first thing I want to do is set a date. So I'm going to set the completion date to today. The next thing I want to do is maybe notify someone when a status moves to done. I can do that by hitting this plus. Can then choose notify, which is an in-app notification, or send an email via Gmail using the Gmail integration. I could also send an email using Outlook and the Outlook integration, Slack, or many other integration or communication tools. And I can add as many actions as I want for a particular event. For now, let's just leave it as this, and we're just going to update the automation. So if you look now, the completion date is empty. And if, for example, I change the status of record video to done, the completion date is set to May the 22nd. And that would be great for a number of reasons: reporting, tracking, etc. And there you have it. A simple project plan set up in Monday.com. From here, you can customize it even more with automations, integrations, and views that suit your workflow. Thanks for joining me on this demo. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below or set up a free consult with me using the link in the video and the description. Happy planning, and I'll see you in the next video.